Welcome to Building My Legacy podcast. This podcast is designed for leaders and entrepreneurs who want to leave a legacy and will provide strategies that focus upon key elements for legacy creation, determining your desired impact and its benefit, increasing your legacy's reach by engaging key stakeholders, planning, prioritizing, and executing. Here's your host, Dr. Lois Sonstegard.
Welcome, everybody, to today's Building My Legacy podcast. I have with me today Darin Dawson. He is founder and CEO of BombBomb, BombBomb.
BombBomb, that's correct. Yeah.
You know, every time I say that, I go, just a minute, that sounds explosive. And I guess it is explosive because that's your goal, is to be explosive.
That's right.
He has a vision of re-humanizing the organizations in businesses where we work and the planet. So he's got big vision, big goals. And tell us, how did you get to where you're getting? Why BombBomb and why this mission that you're on? And then we'll get into what you're doing and how you're doing it.
You bet. And well, thanks for having me. First of all, it's great to be here. It's great to meet you for the first time. But yeah, so I started BombBomb with one of my best friends back in 2006. So it was a long time ago. We had this idea that it'd be better if we were face-to-face with people. And, so BombBomb is we call it a human-centered communication platform that allows you to create simple videos and send them to build relationships with the people that you work with, the people that you want to work with, future customers, existing customers, things like that. The reason we started it was that my business partner, Connor, he had gone to Africa and he had seen the world through a different lens. And he came back saying, I really want to go live there and help these people, specifically widows and orphans that he'd met in a slum in Kitale, Kenya. I'm like, that's great. And then we had another, a friend of ours who actually came from there. We built a great relationship, a great bond with. He had started an orphanage and a school there. And we're like, man, we got to figure out a way not through our day jobs. What kind of business could we create that could sustain maybe Connor living in Africa, but then also Richard and this organization he was creating. So we wanted to do that. We're always entrepreneurial. And so we when we figured out the problem of, we felt scaling ourselves. So this is the problem that we felt we were solving, that I had more customers than I had time to communicate with, right? So I was in a sales and marketing job, predominantly sales job. And I felt I knew I was better face-to-face. And so if I had more of these one-on-one meetings, I knew I got more deals done. So how could I scale myself? Well, we thought we should do video email, right? That was kind of the idea. We could send videos of ourselves talking to people. And no one had really done that. And this was before YouTube and before there was no camera in the iPhone, for instance. And so we cobbled that together, put a server in Connor's closet, sent out an email with a video in it. And everybody went crazy for it. Thought it was amazing. So we thought, well, this could be that business that serves the need that we were trying to create. So we were very much looking for a business to solve this problem that Connor had seen in Africa. And that's how BombBomb got started. And it was interesting. It wasn't until 2011, that's when I quit my job. So we didn't know anything about software. This was very much before venture capital was super strong in this space. So we got our friends and our family and our own money, and we put it together to build BombBomb. But it was interesting. It quickly became obvious that BombBomb was going to be bigger than just allowing Connor to go live in Africa. The goal is to create $5,000 a month or something for Connor to be living in Africa. Well, it's done a lot more than that. And it's created this platform of sustainability for what our mission is to re-humanize the planet. And then for the people that work at BombBomb to feel like they're doing something more than just answering a phone or selling something, right? That we are an impact company that sells software.
So let's talk about your software, because one of the things that we're seeing, you're using the software, video software, to communicate. And one of the things that we're seeing is people being so inundated. The amount of messages, I remember when I first started doing online social media things, and you go to a conference or an expert on social media and they'd say, well, you need to do this, and then you need to do that. And I would go around my office going, I'm going to do that too. You mean I have to do that too? And that? And the problem is you do it and then you get bombarded with all of these responses. And much of it is not human responses. And so you're feeling overwhelmed. How do you sort? So I want you to talk about that, because I know that's part of what you want to address.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I always like to ask a question. I'll ask it of you, maybe the folks listening. When you get an email these days and you don't know the person, do you even think it actually came from a human? Right? Like, I don't anymore. And so we're just so used to it. And I think that makes it easier for me to delete it. It used to be that, that person sent me an email, I should respond to them. You must felt compelled, or for sure, when you got a text from someone, you might feel compelled to respond, or a LinkedIn message. Those things weren't as overused as they are today, right? I call it digital pollution, Lois. So I call it, I feel like it's gotten to this point where it needs a name. And when I get off this call with you, I will have at least 10 unsolicited emails that I will shift and delete them, because I really just don't believe that a person sent them. And so my encouragement to everyone listening, if you're doing that activity, to think about, if you're in a business, you're like, yeah, well, that's how we do this. Well, maybe consider identifying who your customer is just a little bit better, walking through an exercise of your ideal customer profile and asking yourself, what problem am I solving for them? And then be personal in your outreach. And I believe one of the best ways we could be personal is to be human, is to be face-to-face, because we're all unique. Every human being is unique. Every human being, I believe, has intrinsic value. And so when we communicate, our nonverbal communication, our tone, our mannerisms, all these things communicate to you, Lois, in a way that your brain goes, that's a person talking to me. Look, text on a white screen cannot make you feel the emotions that a human can. And I might offer also, it could actually make you feel emotions that are inaccurate. Have you ever gotten a social media message that you responded to negatively? Have you ever gotten an email that maybe was misconstrued in your approach to it, because you read it and you hear it in your own voice? You put your own tone on it, your own feeling on it. My mood of the moment is put into that as I read it, right? So my idea here is that, man, just think about being more human. We call it human-centered in how you approach people. One of the things I like to ask you is, are you more concerned about the recipient getting this message, or are you more concerned about meeting the objective of the communication? So if you're in a sales role and I got to do 100 emails today, is that the objective? Or are you really trying to solve a problem for the person? And how are you creating value for them in your communication? I think that's critical. We need to step back a little bit and maybe tone down the assault of email, text, social media, and think about, empathize with the person that you're sending it to and say, how am I creating value for Lois in this communication right now?
Okay. So when you do,
there's a lot there. Yeah.
Darin, when you do that, now you have taken this mass media that we are also tuned into, and you're really re-looking at, how do I individualize it? It's what people are hungry for. They're hungry for that connection. We keep tearing that connectedness apart.
We do.
So part of the challenge is people have quotas, numbers they need to meet. And that was one of the gifts of this social media process that we created. So how do you help people navigate that sense of, I've got to have results, I've got to produce something, and that balance with, how do I connect?
It's a great question. And I'm glad you asked it, because my answer to that is, it really comes down to the experience you're providing to that potential customer. Let's just talk about it in a sales context. How do people feel when they work with you? And how do you get people to feel a certain way when they work with you? I believe that my people are how you feel about BombBomb. When you meet me, you're experiencing BombBomb, right? I work at BombBomb. When you meet people that work at BombBomb, that's how you experience the business. And then you experience our software and how it works. I believe the same is for you, that people need to experience what it's like to work with you. And that experience lessens the amount that you need to make your quota. So, could it be less is more in this context? That if we really understood who our ideal customer profile was, and we knew the problem that we solved for them. If you don't know those things, by the way, stop what you're doing, figure that out. Who is my ideal customer? Narrow it down, narrow it again, and then narrow it again. And then say, what problem do we solve for them better than anybody else? And put that into action. I think that's a big thing people miss. And then secondly, back to that experience thing. Look, in software, for instance, we can compete on features, but if Lois, you create a software, you got a feature I didn't have, or I had a feature you didn't have, I can just go build that feature. Right. But my people are what's unique. My people are, and so how do I get you to experience my people? I think video is one of these easy ways, and I'm not saying you have to use it every time, but you need to inject it in the right moments in the life cycle of your customer to make it feel a certain way. And again, I just don't believe that feeling comes from text, emails, and those things. I think it comes from humans. So we can talk a little bit about those moments if you're interested in what I found is what those are.
Let's talk about it, because I think it's very important.
So I think everybody goes to the sales motion in your business, like when you're outbounding or talking to people. I think that's right. But we found it's more important if you've actually gotten to the point where people are maybe interviewing you to hire you, but maybe they're hiring other people or they're interviewing other people, right? So you have competitors that are competing for the business that you want. This is the time to use video. From the time you're maybe presenting what you do, use video in those communications. It gives them an idea of who you are, what you're all about. And I still believe, this is kind of an old school thing of thinking, I think, that people do business with people they know, like, and trust. It's very elemental, but I find it to be true for myself. And so how do you build a know, like, and trust? How do you do that, especially in an environment where in a pandemic or things like that, where you can't be as face-to-face maybe as you would usually be? I think this is an easy way to inject know, like, and trust into that buying cycle. And so that they get to make a decision based on the interactions that they have with you, right? I think that's really important. Another way is if you are leading a team, and maybe they're remote right now, maybe they're not able to be face-to-face, using video just to send simple communications out to them, telling them, good job. I'm glad you're here. We couldn't do it without you. You're the best. Really appreciate you. Just little messages of gratitude. They go a long way when they're in video or face-to-face, because you get the feeling of that human connection. I'd argue that if I sent you an email and said, hey, Lois, it is great to be on the show with you. Really appreciate your time. Please let me know if there's anything I can do in the future. Okay, that's a written email. Or I said, Lois, thank you so much. It was so great to be with you. I really enjoyed our time together. It's different. You're smiling. You're reacting to my tone. This is human connection. Okay. And it's so simple to do. I also send videos to people now that are joining BombBomb at our company, because I would usually go and shake their hand and say, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. But I can't do that now because of the pandemic. We're hopefully getting to a better place. We can do this again, but I send them videos, and I probably will still send them videos, even if I do meet them, saying, I'm glad you're here. If there's anything I can do, please let me know, because that's different. That's a human connection. I think we need more of that in this world, not less of it.
So you have developed a software that helps facilitate this process. Please explain that, because I think people will be very fascinated by what it is that you offer.
Yeah,
it's really... And then I want to come back to what you're doing with not-for-profits. So please don't forget that.
Okay, yes, thank you. Yeah, so it's very simple. You log in, and so I use this. You can use it in Gmail and Outlook and Salesforce, whatever product. We have a Chrome browser extension. So it's simply you click, you can record yourself, has a countdown. You record yourself just like kind of like you see me now. But I can send whatever message I want via video. We offer transcription services, so they can actually see the text too, if that helps. We also offer a 3-second animated GIF in the beginning of the video, so it helps them get attracted to the message, right? So I can be like, hey, like that. And so they can see it before they play it. But it's very simple, and you can get a free trial and try it for yourself, but it's really a simple way of doing it.
So, okay. So you subscribe to it. You can embed it in an email and send it out to your clients. It sounds like it's pretty easy to use, user-friendly. So tell me, how do you use this, and what have you done to gift this to not-for-profits? Because I think it's a remarkable gift that you have offered.
Thank you. And this is a goal I've always had at BombBomb. Like I said, when we started the business, it was about helping these people in a different country that we wanted to rehumanize people who we felt were being dehumanized. That was the goal. And so that's our mission. Our book is called Re-Humanize Your Business. It was written by our chief marketing officer and our chief evangelist, two great gentlemen. But our goal as a business is to rehumanize the planet. And we do that. We support that community in Africa. We support local nonprofits in our area. And we've always given away BombBomb accounts to people like that. But we knew we wanted to scale that we wanted to make it easy for a nonprofit to get a BombBomb account, to build relationships with their donors, the people that they've been working with, just like we've been discussing, right? Because in a nonprofit context, you can imagine that it's saying thank you for a donation, however big, in a personal way makes a big difference. And so we have lots of nonprofits doing this. We hadn't had a way to scale that. Now we do. So we created a process by which nonprofits can simply go in, and I can provide you this link, Lois, too, if you're willing to share it with folks, where they can just hit the link and they can click a button and get a free BombBomb account forever for their nonprofit. We actually include up to 3 BombBomb accounts for free. So if you have folks on that team that want to use it, we offer it to them for free. They can get a BombBomb account, and then they can rehumanize the planet. So we talk about people who are helping. We have a slave problem in this world right now. I think people don't actually realize that we have sex trafficking going on. We have slavery existing. We have homelessness in epidemic amounts. If you're a nonprofit and you're helping to help people who are dehumanized in our culture, in our world, we have a BombBomb account for you. We want to give it to you. It's just who we are. It's what we wanted to do from the beginning. We want to be people who change. We want to make a dent in the universe. That's what we're trying to accomplish. And so we wanted to do this. We finally were able to do it in a way it's beneficial to the nonprofit. So they get videos that help them understand different ways they could use it. That's all set up for them at this point. They can get a free account for life.
Super. And what I think is interesting about this, Darin, is you have done this, created this philosophy, operated this way, and grown your company. You said north of 30 million right now. How have you done that? That's an amazing accomplishment.
The only answer I can give you is people. The people in core values. So we also created core values right in the onset of BombBomb. Relationships is number 1, humility, service, and fun. So those core values, and flexibility is the 5th one. Those are our core values. And I think we really try to hire people by those core values. And if you believe in these things, I'm glad you're really good at marketing. But what did you think about our core values? That's what an interview looks like at BombBomb, right? What do you think about those? How they resonate with you? What do you think about that? Because at the end of the day, what we want to do is create a community of people who care about people. I've said the human connection matters more, I think, on this interview than I have in others. And it does. And that's what we're about. So I want people who work at BombBomb who care about that. And I think that's how we got to where we are. We did that without venture capital. It was very friends and family from the beginning, very small, right? And we've grown that through the people who care about the mission of making this place better and building relationships with human beings. And so the people at BombBomb care about that. My executive team cares about that. I'm lucky I have a team. The lowest tenure is 2 years. The highest is 10. And then like our CMOs have been 7 years, our product VP 7 years. So I think a lot of people suffer from not being able to retain and keep those key people through this growth period. And that's really tough. And so I'm very thankful for that team of staying with me for this long and trying to accomplish these things. And I really think that's the key, though, is getting those people that believe in what you're doing, really believe in it. Because if you don't believe in it, if you've ever sold anything that you don't believe in, like I used to sell pens or promotional products, and nothing against that, but I just didn't move me, right? I always like selling ideas more than I like selling things. And so when I didn't believe in selling it, I wasn't very good at selling it. So I think people who believe in what you do, then when that person calls in and needs a support person to talk to, that person they're talking to at BombBomb loves the idea of video and humans and connecting people and rehumanizing the planet. So I think that's what got us to where we're going. And I would encourage anybody else listening, if you're building a business, build or hire people that believe in what you're doing, not just based on their ability to do what you need them to do.
Before we go, I think one of the important things we have not talked about is please define what it means to rehumanize.
Yep. It's great. The way we talk about this is that when we're rehumanizing people or your business, we're looking at what does dehumanized mean? Right. So let's just talk about from how we support nonprofits. We look for nonprofits that are helping dehumanize people. I would argue that if you're homeless, you're not able to live your best life, right? You're being dehumanized. It's not a way, it's hard to get above that. If you're a family living in your car, you don't have a home and your kids are sleeping in the car with you, that's not a great way to grow up. I want to see help given to those people. If you're in a community in Africa or in India that doesn't have clean water, if you don't have water and you can't get food, or you spend all your day simply picking up sticks to sell for firewood for $1 so you can get something to eat, all your time is spent thinking about how I'm going to get something to eat, you're in a dehumanized position. So I think rehumanizing those people is getting them a sustainable, either education, food, shelter. Those are the things that create a community, a better life for those people. That's what we want to do globally, or that's what we want to do. So that's our why. In your business, I think, rehumanizing your business means caring about the recipient, caring about the customer more than the objective of the business. And if you do that, I believe that you'll win. That's what we've done. We care more about you winning than me winning, because that's how I win. Okay.
So our podcast is all about leaving a legacy. And what you're doing is every day you're building a legacy for yourself and for your employees, but think of all the not-for-profits for whom you're also extending that. So thoughts on legacy and its importance to you, or how that fits in, because very few people live and work at the same time.
Yeah, I feel I haven't had a job in 15 years or something, because when I get up in the morning, and it's hard. I mean, it's not easy every day. I make it sound like that. It's not. There's hard points, but at the end, yeah, I want to be here for a reason. I want to live my life for something bigger. I want other people to live their lives for something bigger. And I want, if BombBomb gets to be a part of that, great. I always tell people at BombBomb too, look, I don't expect you to be here forever. I would love you to retire here. I don't know if that's even possible, but I want you better than when you came. And then if you go on, you look back at your time with us, you say that was special. That's my goal for every person that comes through BombBomb. But yeah, for me personally, I just can't see why you wouldn't try and make an impact and try and live for change. I think we're missing that in our culture. It's getting worse and worse and worse because we're just focused on ourselves. We need to be focused on our people. We need to have empathy for people, empathy for where different people from different cultures and different backgrounds and that people that don't look like us. We need to take care of these people. And to me, that's what I want to do. I want to look back at my life and know that I was called for something and I did something that was purposeful.
Darin, our time is almost up. What have we missed? That's really important for our audience to know.
Man, we got into it. I think it was pretty thorough. I can't think of anything else. If you can, I'd be happy to share more, but it's been a pleasure. I think it was really fun.
Darin, you have made an incredible contribution, and we will have information about Darin and his company BombBomb in the show notes. We will also have information about how you can connect with him so you can be in contact with him. And those of you who may have not-for-profits, boy, do we encourage you to get in contact with Darin and use his software, because I think you may find that your life and your business just flourishes as a result. Thank you so much, Darin, for your contribution to what all of us are doing and for rehumanizing how we're approaching things. Thanks so much for that.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be with you.
And for those of you who are listening to our podcast today, thank you very much. And please remember to visit our website as well at www.buildtomorrowwith2.com and our social media sites as well. Thank you.
You've been listening to Building My Legacy podcast with Dr. Lois Sonstagard. To book your appointment with Dr. Sonstagard, visit www.buildtomorrow.com.